Hello and welcome. Carrie here with my buddy Brett. Who's your carnivore? We're from the World Famous Montello Theater live. Wipe the sweat off. Brett just helped get you on the mic here too.
Okay.
We just had a heck of a rush. How you doing?
Oh man, I'm really doing great. Thanks for having me over here. My family is at the Wisconsin Dells this weekend, and I'm a 45-minute drive away from Montello, so I'm not going to miss an opportunity to come to the world famous Montello Theater and see my buddy.
Well, we love having you. Last time you were here, you were dressed up in a kung fu outfit.
My Taekwondo outfit, yeah, for Kung Fu Panda.
That was awesome.
That was fun with JT.
Yeah, so you came up for the meetup we had, the Dr. Hampton meetup.
Yep.
You've been to everything, right? You were in Chicago.
The only thing I couldn't come to was the cookout you had up by Milwaukee.
Oh, right, in Thiensville with JT.
Yeah.
But you were in Austin too, which was awesome. I just got to thank you and look, our other buddies here, Carnivore Brothers.
Yeah,
Ashley and Rhett. Ashley was down in Austin. Ashley and Brett cooked some of the most amazing food. I was talking to Todd Bachnes on the phone earlier today, and for 20 minutes we were just reminiscing about all the amazing meals we had in Camp Carnivore, and we want to get back there. So I really appreciate it. And now he came to the theater, and I put him to work.
Yeah, that was fun. I got to work behind the counter with Emma and Katie and Jen and help sling some popcorn and candy and help with tickets. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. So
the crazy thing is you showed up on a very rare day. It's a great day, but the movie sold out. We sold out again, which I never would have thought would have happened because this is the second weekend we've played it.
Yeah.
And we're in a small town. Sometimes you get a sellout one weekend in a row, but I'm not complaining. It's the whole above us right now. Almost every seat is full except for just a few. So that's pretty cool. How have we were talking a little bit earlier, but how are the Dells? I know you went to a water park.
Yeah, we went to Mount Olympus Water Park today, and yesterday we did the Army duck boat ride.
That's what I was going to ask you. How was that?
That was fun. We sat up front, and me and my little boy, we went. He had a great time, and he was just amazed how the boat drives on the road, and then bam, it dives into the water. And we went through the upper Dells and saw some of the rock formations there, and we were in the river, and it was about an hour long, and it was really fun. Great family thing to do if you're ever up here.
That's awesome. Has your family been to the Dells before?
We were here about 12 years ago.
Okay.
But we didn't get to do a duck boat ride. We did some other stuff. And
I'm glad you did that because I was going to suggest something like that. That's one of the fun things to do. There's a little touristy parts of the Dells, and then it just gets beautiful when you get out there on the river and on the water. Jen and I last year we found a really cool kayaking spot through the Dells. We went a couple times. Got to get out there again. But so the purpose of today's video is to hang out with my buddy. Who's your carnivore? I got a link in the description too. If you guys aren't subscribed, subscribe to this guy. He's got a great channel. We got Carnivore Brothers on here as well. But we were going to talk about meat mastery with Brett, carnivore cooking tips, essential tools and gadgets. I just recently did a video about tools and gadgets. I wanted to get your take a little bit as well. And then, of course, all of you wonderful people in the audience, if you have any questions for Brett, questions about preparing, cooking meat, this guy knows his way around a smoker, knows his way around a barbecue grill for sure. Shoot us some questions. Hey, look, we got Dr. Nelson in the chat. How's it going, buddy? Got to meet Did you meet Dr. Nelson in Austin?
I did get to meet Dr. Nelson. Got a picture with him. Super, super nice guy. Very unassuming. He just kind of walked up and just said, hello.
Right.
He was so real and down to earth. And we had some really nice conversation with him. And it looks like we got a lot of people here. Susan Hampton.
Hey, Susan from South Carolina.
Glad to see you here. Aunt B, Carnivore Brothers. Tracy. Yeah,
Dr. Nelson. I got to speak the truth. I told the girls, you can't have favorites. But I was like, who did you like? Who are your favorite carnivore doctors? Yeah. And it was Dr. Nelson and Dr. Kilt. So there you go. There you go, Dr. Nelson.
And look who else is in here. Adam,
Carnivore Today, aloha friends. We got Ashley. I think that's Ashley and Rhett. Maybe we got both of the brothers today. Camp Carnivore rules. We need to talk about this, Ashley. Brett, we need to talk about this.
Yeah.
We need to put something in stone, and I'm committed. Like, my number one goal is obviously doing this documentary,
Right.
and filming, and that's why we were in Austin. And we filmed 14 people, which was incredible. Huge shout out to Adam. But once we're done with the documentary, which may never, we're just going to be a subsequent series or whatever, I want to do Camp Carnivore every single year. I will commit to it now. If we get a place and find a place and we're like, let's do it, let's book it right now a year in advance, I'm in. That was so much fun. If we do it again, do you think we can have Dr. Baker as the camp counselor again, or do we maybe Dr. Chafee this time?
Oh, that would be epic.
Dr. Baker was our unofficial Camp Carnivore counselor down in Austin, and it was pretty awesome. He stayed the last night we were there, which is so weird. I'm walking by, I'm like, Dr. Baker's right staying in that room right there.
He's brushing his teeth. It's like, oh.
Yeah, I'm waiting to walk by the couch and just see his feet hanging over the edge of the couch. He was incredible. All those doctors, like, this isn't flattery for the sake of flattery. They were all awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I love about Dr. Baker? He is so funny. He has these, you have to listen, like he had that one vegan person on that was screaming at him.
Right.
If anyone hasn't watched that and you rewatch it, listen very carefully because he gets these little quips in. These little quick things, and they're absolutely hilarious. And I noticed him doing that throughout the several days we got to spend with him. He's so funny.
He just slips them in there.
Yeah.
Hey, Charlie, Darth Carnivore. He's a Hoosier. Thanks for coming in here.
There we go. Darth Carnivore, welcome. Dangerous JD, I had a cow tongue today for the first time. Did it in a slow cooker. Have you done cow tongue?
I have never done a cow tongue.
What is the most weird, unusual, exotic meat you've eaten?
For me, I don't know. Maybe alligator. I've had alligator a couple times. I've had rattlesnake. But I mean, it's always just, something you're at a fair and they have some exotic meat and you just try a little bit of it. But
was alligator or snake like really weird, or was it like chicken?
Kind of chicken-like.
Like chicken, yeah.
Kind of like maybe like a real dense fish, maybe. But tasty, good. Yeah.
Have you had beef shanks?
I have not had beef shanks.
Oh, I should have. See, now Brett came all the way out. I wanted him to cook some food up for him, but we had some Airbnb guests, and then we got the movie theater. And next time, I gotta.
Yeah.
Beef shanks are one of my favorites, like almost up there with ribeye. They're so good.
Ooh.
Slow cooked in a little Dutch oven. They're fantastic.
Well, we can always do this again sometime. I'm only 6 hours away.
Hey, it's probably too soon, but open invite. 4th of July, we're having a little get together. It's coming up kind of quick, but we're having a get together. I was talking to my buddy Todd Bachman earlier today, getting some suggestions on fireworks on a larger scale. We're going to try to do a little fireworks show at the homestead. So open invite. I should be careful what I'm saying here. A bunch of people showing up.
Honey, if you're watching, we have an open invite for July 4th.
Right. And there's going to be meat. I can guarantee you that. Andy Schnick said, I recommend Tommy Bartlett's Space Exploratory in the Dells. Did you do any of that stuff when you were here? Did you last time you were here, did you do the Tommy Bartlett's water show at all?
No.
Oh, that's too bad. It's been running there since.
There's so much stuff to do here.
Yeah.
It's hard to, we basically focused on, we did go-karts, we did duck boat.
Yep.
We did the Mount Olympus today. If you go online, they have the world's tallest water ride.
Yeah.
And as a carnivore, I hiked my hiney up there and I came shooting out of that thing like a musket ball. It was awesome.
Nice. Would you do it again?
I would do it again. Yeah. But I tell you what, a year and a half ago when I was 300 pounds, you couldn't have gotten me up there. No way. No way.
Are you done with Mount Olympus now?
Yeah. We're not going. We're going home tomorrow.
Okay. I was telling him not to be a downer on Mount Olympus, but I was there a couple days ago. He did not, or your family did not go on the roller coaster I went on. Mm-hmm. I went on a roller coaster. A lot of you know this already, but I fractured a rib on my left side. And I'm not blaming them. I'm not suing them. It was play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I was being an idiot. I was doing the dead man where you just kind of lay limp. And that was a very foolish thing. I told the girls too. Emma and Katie and Alyssa were on it with me. I was like, let's do the dead man. They're like, no, this one's too fast. And I was the only one. You could see the picture too. I was the only one doing it. They were like this.
Well, at least you got a picture.
Yeah. Just seconds after busting my rib. Learn my lesson. I'm going to heal quick. I'm a carnivore.
Is everybody going to put in the chat where you're from?
Yeah, let us
Usually do
know.
that.
Let us know where you're from. What did you eat today?
There you go.
Brett and I had a couple of porterhouses.
It was good too.
Carnivore Brothers. I like the tools video. Carrie, that was cool and helpful. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was kind of on a whim. I'm like, there's a few things I do every day. I wanted to touch on a few of those things with Brett. Maybe we'll start out right there. Is there anything you can think of that now that you're carnivore, like a specific tool or gadget or something that you use every day as a carnivore? One thing for me, I'll just give as a quick example, is my cutting board. I eat on my cutting board every single day. Never did that pre-carnivore.
Yeah. I'd say if you don't have a charcoal grill, that's kind of an essential tool for me.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people will pre-cook meals and they'll cook for the week, but me, I like cooking my dinners fresh every night. I fire up the charcoal. I'll take the time to do it because I know how good it is when it's done.
Yep.
And so, if you don't have a charcoal grill or some kind of grill, that would be my number one tool. And then if you want to make a really perfect steak, you need a meat thermometer.
Yeah. That was number one on my list. I showed one that I had that was called the Typhur, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But you can get the instant read thermometers, but if you get the Bluetooth one, those are so nice.
Yeah.
Mine you set a little notification on your phone. I go to 110 degrees internal temperature before I sear them. And it just dings me on my phone and it takes all the work out. That's one of the biggest mistakes. I mentioned this in my video that I think most carnivores make. I used to do that too, where you'd Google and you'd cook to time instead of temperature. There's these charts online. Oh, if it's this thick, cook for 8 minutes. That's all garbage. You have to cook it to temperature, use a thermometer. And the Bluetooth ones are coming down in price.
I've cooked to time before and it works sometimes, but it's not very reliable.
Right.
Well, for Father's Day this year, I got a meter too. It's the little Bluetooth meat thermometer.
Yeah.
It's wireless. You stick it in there and you do the app on your phone. It's good for like 1,000 degrees.
Nice.
So you don't have to worry about it melting. And you can smoke your meats. I usually I have a meat thermometer for smoking meats so I can continuously monitor it. And then I have just one of those meat thermometers that you just poke in. So when I'm making a steak, it's not, and I'm just grilling it, I'm not smoking it. I just use that to just check my temperatures, and when it hits about 120, I pull it off, put it on the rack, let it cool for a little bit, and Maldon salt and butter and get it.
Good to go, right?
Yeah.
You've done so many steaks. Honestly, you probably don't even need a thermometer.
I can pretty much tell by feel.
Yeah, me too now. Especially with I'll do like the same ribeyes over and over again. And I'm like, I could touch it and kind of feel and kind of know subconsciously. I just know it's ready to go. Okay, question, Brett. On the charcoal, you gave me a lesson on this. You're going to be proud of me. I finally came around. But what is your recommendation for getting a charcoal grill started? This sounds like a stupid question, but I was screwing it up for a very long time. I was doing the lighter fluid all over it and messing up the enamel in my little egg grill cooker thing.
Yeah. I like using an electric starter. It's basically just like a heating element on an old style oven.
Yeah.
And you stick that in your grill. You pile your charcoal on top of it. You turn it on or you plug it in, and 5 or 10 minutes and you've got burning hot coals. Either that or you can use pieces of fat wood. Or they make like a fibrous fire starters that break off into little squares.
Yeah.
And I'll bury a couple of those in the charcoal and light them. That's what I did this weekend with the cabin we were staying at. It had a couple of charcoal grills. I brought my own charcoal and I brought those little square fire starters and used that to start it up. But if you use the lighter fluid, it can taint the taste. Mm-hmm. I can tell if I'm eating a burger or a steak off of charcoal that was lit off lighter fluid. You can taste it.
I didn't get the heating element, but I got the charcoal chimney.
Oh yeah, the chimney's the other one that's really good.
I'm like, why didn't I listen earlier? You told me about this a long time ago. You're like, stop with the lighter fluid. JT was yelling at me about it too, and I was just lazy. That charcoal chimney is so easy because here's the thing: I'd pyramid the charcoal, I'd put lighter fluid on it, and then you'd light it, and half the time it wouldn't light. I have to put more lighter fluid on, and it makes sense because you're lighting the top of the charcoal and heat rises.
Right.
That charcoal chimney, a little crumple of newspaper, charcoal, light the bottom, and it was like a couple minutes, and that thing was just smoking and flames coming out of it. It's so nice. It's like, I think I paid like $8, $10 for that thing, something like that.
If you want to make a really hot fire with charcoal, that chimney will do it. I mean, you can really get that charcoal going hot.
You know, what is the trick to this now, too? Because I have noticed this in my little red egg-shaped grill. I can get that thing really hot.
Yep.
My goal is to get it to like 800 degrees. I've gotten it to 700 degrees. But the last time I did it, it was at like 200. I'm like, it was the same charcoal, everything. I'm like, I don't know what I did, but I used the charcoal chimney. I think I might have waited too long.
Yeah, if it already ashed over and the embers were burning down.
Yeah, I probably waited too long because those were thicker steaks.
Yeah, you may have started it a little soon.
Yeah.
By the time the smoke was done, your charcoal was
done too.
Halfway gone.
Yeah, probably. The reason I overcomplicate things, but I did the charcoal in that little red thing once. I put like half of it in because I was out of charcoal, and that was when I got it the hottest.
Yeah.
I'm like airflow, whatever, and I think the timing
Airflow.
was better too. So.
You know, fire can't breathe without air, and that's the way to control it. If you want to get it hot, you got to let it breathe. If you want to smoke, you got to choke it off and not let it get too hot, especially with those ceramic smokers.
Yeah,
because once that thing gets hot, it stays hot.
Yeah.
And
it holds the heat real well too.
Yeah, and those ceramic smokers, you definitely don't want to use lighter fluid in those.
Yeah, I was
because it'll get into the porcelain, and it'll take a while to get it out of there.
But Brett, what would your advice be? Lots of rookie carnivores just starting out there right now. If you could go back in time and give yourself some advice about preparing steaks, what's your favorite way to prepare a steak? Like, let's say a thick ribeye.
Man, it's either smoking it or grilling it, whatever I'm in the mood for. Because when you smoke a steak, it has a certain flavor because you're bringing the heat up slowly and it's absorbing that smoke. And then if you just grill it on charcoal, that creates a certain flavor. But most of the time, probably my favorite is just charcoal grilling it and getting that hot sear. That's tough to beat. But smoking it, I mean, it's 49-51.
Right. It's real close.
It's really, really close. But, sometimes you don't always have the time you need to smoke one.
Yeah.
And most of the time, I'm cooking dinner for the family and I need to be done in 20 minutes.
Right.
So, I don't have an hour to smoke it. So
the thing I like with the smoker is when I do thicker ones, it gets a consistent cook all the way through versus if I just put it on the charcoal, I'm usually like medium rare on the inside, a little bit grayer on the outside.
Yep.
But the flavor, you're right, it comes at a cost though. It takes more time. But I like the flavor, like certain different woods, because
when you cut into that smoked one and pull it apart, you can tell, I mean, from top to bottom, like 95% of the inside of that steak is all the same color.
Yeah. Consistency.
It's consistent. It's cooked medium rare, top to bottom on the inside.
Right.
And that's awesome.
The other tip I had, you might have given me this one. I don't know. I stole this from somebody, but I don't know. A couple months into carnivore, someone taught me this. It's very cheap and it's very simple, and it has made a huge difference in my steaks. And that is a cooling rack. Instead of taking the steak off and just setting it down on your cutting board, all of that heat touching the cutting board, all of the liquids tends to pool out. The other big mistake a lot of rookies make is they just cut right into it and they don't even let it rest.
Right.
You got to let it rest because it's getting up to heat. But the game changer for me that someone told me in the comments, might have been Brett, I don't remember who it was. They said, put that thing on a rack because then you'll get the airflow underneath of it. And it's a way juicier when you do that. Here's a question for Brett. Do you use any of the Redmond seasonings? I know salt is a favorite, but does anyone use the seasonings?
I use Redmond's real salt for sure. And I've got like the 4-pack. So you get like the Redmond's garlic salt and the seasoned salt. I think there's a smoked salt in there, but anymore, I make my own seasoning called Brett's Good Stuff. which you saw.
Not with the word stuff, but yeah, we know. We appreciate the censors.
Right. And, that's a mix of salt, pepper, garlic, paprika, and onion powder that I use on my steaks. And then I like the Malden salt. I used to use the real salt all the time, and now it's Malden's.
I got hooked too.
I'm hooked.
It's Adam's fault. It's addictive in a weird way. It's so good.
Yeah. I introduced some of my family to it during this camp out. I brought my bucket of Malden's with me, and a lot of them were putting it on their steaks and really liked it.
If you guys aren't familiar with the Malden, it's like the thick, textury, flaky salt, and it's you get a little texture, a little crunch, and you get that pop of salt. It's really good.
So if you're sensitive to seasonings, then I would just stick with the salt. But if you're good with garlic and pepper and you're not affected by it, go for it. But it enhances your carnivore experience.
Right.
Not going to hurt anything.
Dr. Nelson, shout out new member. Thank you for that.
All right.
We do the members only live stream every Thursday, 3:00 Central. Really appreciate that. Adam with the super chat. Thanks, Adam. $5. Everyone check out Carnivore Today, Adam's channel.
And every penny that's donated to this live stream and any live stream
And the shirts.
go directly to healing humanity.
100%. Thank you for saying that, because I'm sick of saying it.
Hey,
I need to have
I'm
it
here
on
for
record.
you, buddy.
Adam said, Aaron Franklin ain't got nothing on Brett and Ashley's barbecue, the OG carnivore campers. That is the truth.
That's very kind.
Have you been to Franklin's barbecue, by the way?
I have not.
I haven't either, and I've watched him on YouTube for years. There was a special he did where I think someone spent 24 hours at Aaron Franklin's barbecue, and he spent a whole 24 hours there, and they saw the whole thing. It was really cool. I haven't been there either. But it's hard to. I didn't get any barbecue out in Texas because you get a lot of sugar, sauce, spices, things like that.
And we didn't really have a chance.
Right.
Him and Adam were so busy with the documentary and filming, and then me and Ashley, we were pretty busy too, because we followed them around and helped them out and cooked, and but it was worth every minute I was there to help out and participate, just in a small way to help out.
Do you have put you on the spot? I'm not going to put you on the spot here, but put you on the spot. Do you have a favorite carnivore doctor or expert or someone that you met during
I really enjoyed meeting Dr. Keltz.
Yeah.
He was really great. Chafee was great. I didn't get a chance to talk to Dr. Baker as much as I wanted to.
Yeah.
Because we were pretty busy. They kept us humping, doing stuff. And then when the doctors were around, they were pretty well occupied. But I did get a chance to talk to them. And these aren't doctors, but the coaches for Bella's Steak and Butter Gang.
Yeah.
They were all fantastic.
Yeah. Awesome people. I wish I would have gotten it on video, but Raymond taught me how to do a one-arm push-up.
A one-arm push-up.
Which I never thought I'd be able to do. He did it. There was a video, I think in Ashley's video. Shout out Ashley Carnivore Brothers. If you guys want to know what we're talking about, Ashley put together sort of a recap video, Camp Carnivore video over at Carnivore Brothers. You did a fantastic job on that too, by the way. I loved watching that. Todd and I were talking about that earlier. But I think Raymond is in that, doing the one-handed push-up.
Or you can watch Rocky 4.
Yeah.
He does a lot of them in there.
But yeah, we didn't get to Franklin's barbecue, but we didn't need to. Oh my goodness, so many good meals. The memorable one for me was the first one. I don't know, you guys teamed up and cooked. I don't know who cooked it, to give credit where due, but the brisket.
Oh, that was all Carnivore Brothers. That was all Ashley.
Ashley, oh my goodness, that brisket, it hit the spot. It was and there was nothing on it. It was just smoke and meat, and fantastic. It was so good.
Ashley lives in Dallas, and he hauled his Traeger all the way down to Austin and used it to make a lot of the food, and did a great job. Actually, he deserves a lot more credit than me, because I was only there for a few days, but he was there the whole.
Right. Yeah, well, you guys both did an awesome job. I really appreciate it. I know I said it before, but I really appreciate it. There's many times that I'm not being dramatic, but Adam and I just wouldn't have eaten. We would have been like, we got to get to this next thing. We got to go. You guys hooked us up. And it wasn't that we were just eating. We were eating incredible food. Like we were done with those meals. We're like, let's go. Bring on the next interview.
Hey.
Let's do this next one.
We got to keep you fed. I mean, that Friday we were at Hack Your Health and you were in a time crunch you had doctors showing up. You had filming to do. You had lights to set up. You had things to arrange. And I'm like, Carrie, I'm just going to ride back with you guys. We'll get there. I'm going to make you a power bowl.
Oh, the power bowl with the meatballs.
With the meatballs.
Next level.
And, fed you. And then, bam, they're off. They're back in the house filming and doing their thing.
Yeah.
And it made me feel so good being able to do that for you guys.
I so appreciate it. I appreciate you. Everyone else that volunteered. Like, what a team effort that was. We filmed 14 people. And it's not that just Adam and I did all this work filming 14 people. No, it was Ashley, it was Brett, it was Lynn, all of these people coming together. Todd, the coaches, Emily, arranged a whole bunch of stuff and organized it. Was picking up people and bringing them here. We never would have filmed them. If it was just me and Adam alone, we never would have filmed that many people.
You'd have got half done.
Right. So the documentary is going to be that much better just because of this team effort. Yeah, that's why I keep saying it. This is the community's documentary. This is our documentary.
And you would have been 3 times as stressed.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, and I could see it in your face.
We were already
stress level,
right?
And and I'm like,
you stopped us from breaking.
I'm like, this is why I'm here, to keep this man focused on the task at hand.
It was a lot though too, because it was like next doctor, and then I'm sitting there interviewing. When I was interviewing Dr. Chafee, I'm like imposter syndrome. Like what am I, Diane Sawyer? What gives me the right to sit here interviewing this guy? And well, no one else is doing it, so I kind of got to do a thing. But yeah, luckily, those guys are all amazing. Obviously, they're all experts, so they made the interviewing part easier. But we had so many surprises during the trip that I never would have. You plan for one thing to happen, and we got all of these surprises. And I think the documentary is going to be so much better because of those surprises and those individuals. Dr. Kiltz being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
The Browns, hanging with the Browns being another. They did some really good interviews. I was telling Brett, I rewatched some things this morning, and Frederick and G Brown, hanging with the Browns, my buddies, man, they knocked it out of the park with their interviews. Very, very good stuff. Carnivore Brothers, I got a new toy added to my arsenal of cooking equipment. I got a Traeger flagstone.
What is a Traeger flagstone?
I was just wondering that. What is a Traeger flagstone? I know a Traeger is usually a smoker. Is that a type of smoker?
Is the flagstone, is that like the pizza stone or some kind of heat deflector? Might be. I'm not sure. I'm more of a big green egg kettle smoker. I've got a Kamado Joe, the Kamado Joe XL. That's what I've got at home.
Is it the big green one?
It's a red one.
Red one, okay.
And it's a really, really nice piece of equipment.
Mm.
And you don't really need anything like that to cook as a carnivore. Right. You can go on Facebook Marketplace. I've seen them for $40, like a Weber kettle grill. Yeah. You can make amazing meat on just a used kettle grill.
I always try to tell people that too that are watching, because they'll see your setup or they'll see my setup. Oh, he's got a Yoder smoker and he's got the egg grill and all this. You don't need that. When Emma and I were in Alaska, we got some amazing porterhouses, but they were really thick. I didn't have a smoker. I didn't have a sous vide machine. Right. I put them in the oven on the lowest temperature, just like I would in the smoker. So I cooked it low and slow. And then we stuck some sticks in it and we cooked it over a fire. Hot and fast. Great. Low and slow, hot and fast. You don't need... I'll do that in wintertime. I don't know what you do. You're in Indiana, right? In wintertime, I don't like going out in the snow all the time. So instead of firing up the smoker, sometimes I will put my steak low and slow in the air fryer on the lowest temperature, which sounds like Carnivore Kip would be slapping me in the face right now.
He would.
But low and slow in there, and then because I don't want to go outside, I'll put it in a cast iron skillet in some tallow and sear it hot and fast. So there's like a million. You could sous vide it. There's like a million ways you can do it. You don't have to have all the fancy stuff. But like you said, even a cheap smoker would get you done.
Yeah, and I tend to do that too in the winter. I'll break out the cast iron and do more. It's kind of my winter steak.
I found myself doing that too. Lots of stuff. It's my first year on carnivore. I'm on day 460 now, I think. But I started in summer, so wintertime, yeah, it was a lot of air fryer, cast iron skillet. But then when it warmed up, man, I was happy to get back out there on the smoker. I smoked a couple things in the winter, but that's a whole other ball game too in Wisconsin winter, running that smoker in terms of time and losing heat.
Temperature can affect it for sure.
Gonzo won, 35 pounds gone and 30 to go. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Dangerous JD question. I know we all love Anthony Chafee, but how many choose to eat garlic? Do you notice any issues when you do? Need some seasoning other than salt? You do some garlic, right?
I do. It doesn't affect me. At least I've gone the no spices route and then added them back, and it didn't change anything for me. Yeah. So that's probably the best way to find out is to go without it and then add it and then see if it affects dough. So I would, if you do want to add in garlic, find the cleanest organic single ingredient garlic powder and do that.
Right.
Read your labels.
The beautiful thing is if you are carnivore, which you are, you're not putting all of this other noise into your system, all these other meals and snacks and all this stuff. So if you add some garlic, you're probably going to know pretty quickly whether or not that's a problem for you, versus when you're on the standard American diet. If you introduce something new, you probably wouldn't know what it was because you're eating so many other things.
Maybe try ordering some Redmond's real salt. They have a garlic salt. That might be something. And that's going to be clean.
Right. Christine asks a question. How long before you noticed your anxiety decrease? Did you have an anxiety decrease?
I have never had an anxiety issue. So
for me, it was around 3 weeks or so. I'm always cautious when I say that because everybody is different. Some people will take longer than that, but I have heard from a few people, usually around 3 weeks, not that the anxiety goes away, but usually around 3 weeks, quite a few people have told me they had a whoa moment, like, whoa, I noticed something's happening, like this medication I was on didn't do anything, but now something is happening, like going in the right direction. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely different for everyone. And I would also say, make sure, if you're doing this for depression, anxiety, my advice would be give it 30 days of doing strict carnivore. Don't cheat. Don't do a little, like this is an elimination diet. So if you eliminate everything, you're going to eliminate a lot of inflammation, and that could probably help you with your anxiety and depression. Some people I'll talk to and they'll be like, I'm pretty much doing carnivore, and like 95% carnivore and 5% donuts is almost like not doing carnivore because it'll kick your butt out of ketosis. And right, there's a lot of people don't realize that starting out carnivore, they're thinking Weight Watchers or whatever. I did good all week, I can have a donut now. Well, that could knock you out of ketosis for a couple of days.
So Christine, if you are having an anxiety issue, I would also pick up Georgia Eads' book.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have a copy of it handy.
I sure
there,
do.
But Dr. Georgia Eid, she's brilliant, and she's, I think, going to be part of the movie.
She is. She's one of the last experts we're going to film. I was just talking to her earlier. We got to schedule something. This book is absolutely incredible. I don't want anything. Don't use an affiliate link. I'm not affiliated with them at all. But I told Dr. Eid, if I would have found this book 25 years ago, it would have changed my life forever. There's people in this book, depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, bipolar type 2, all overcoming it. And it's just the foods they're eating. This book is wonderful. This is a new book. I don't know if you've seen this one, Brett. Have you seen this one? Called Good Energy.
Casey Means.
Casey Means and Callie Means. This book is really good too, although he's not full on carnivore, but I'm almost done reading this one. This guy, we got to do a book club now. This young man, Edward Goki, I don't know if I'm saying that right. He's got a YouTube channel. It's pretty interesting. He was on Dr. Baker a while ago. Oh. I did an interview with him last week. I still got to edit and put it on the channel. He's really good. He's got a great YouTube channel. Jen said, hey, who's in my chair? Laugh out loud. Thanks for the help upstairs, Brett.
Hey, it was my pleasure.
She acts like who's in my chair. She's happy you're in the chair right now. She gets the night off from doing a live stream. Dakota Kim says, I'm struggling to be a carnivore, 100% carnivore. What's your advice?
Well, my advice, I'm a carnivore in a house of non-carnivores. And if that is your situation, then I found the thing that I did that made it easier for me to focus was I made my own shelf in the pantry that just has my stuff on it. And I just kind of segregated myself in the freezer, in the refrigerator, and in the pantry. If you're living alone, then, or if there's no one else in the house, or everyone along with you is doing it too, then just clean all the seed oils and sugar and carbs and just have all of that out of the house. Because if it's not there, you can't eat it. If you have to get in your car and drive to go buy a candy bar or a French fries or whatever it is, it makes it much tougher and much easier to discipline yourself until you really get down with the carnivore. And I find the longer I do it, the easier it gets.
Right.
Like the last 6 months for me, I haven't had any cravings at all. The first 6 months, a little bit until I got over my sugar addiction. But now it's effortless.
Right.
It's effortless to stay on the wagon.
Doesn't that make it frustrating when you see people suffering? They're like, I could never do what you're doing. And you're like, it's literally the easiest thing in the world once you get going.
Somebody wanted me to scoot in a little bit. So
my only other advice for you, Dakota Kim, would be take a piece of paper and a pen and write down your why, your reasons, and really think about, what if you don't do carnivore? What if you continue doing whatever you did that got you to this point that you're thinking about doing carnivore? The other thing I think about now, like I did carnivore for a lot of immediate reasons: depression, anxiety, weight, gout, things like that. But now that those things have cleared up, why don't I just stop doing carnivore? Because I have learned of all of the long-term things now. I believe if I kept doing what I was doing before, eating that food that was highly inflammatory with chronic inflammation, I have no doubt I would end up with cancer at some point. I'd probably die in my early 70s. The average life expectancy is like 73. It's going in the wrong direction. We're dying younger and younger. Cancers, dementia, Alzheimer's. People are so sick out there in the world right now. Depression, anxiety, it's all just the food we're eating. So I don't want to be too harsh with you, but those are the things I think about. That's my why. I don't worry about any of those things. And someone asked me this the other day, and this isn't like me being a tough guy or something, but they're like, what is one of the weirdest changes on carnivore that you noticed? I'm fearless now. I'm not worried about anything. And my whole life up to this point, I was scared all the time.
Yeah.
Anxious, scared. Oh, what's this? What's that? Always worried. And I don't have any worry anymore. But if I was eating that way still, if I was eating standard, I'd be worried. Like, well, how am I not going to have some sort of chronic disease caused by inflammation when I'm eating all this inflammatory food my entire life? So there's an exercise you can do too, where you write down, what is it called? It's like an opportunity graph or something, but it really helps, Dakota Kim. Like, people say they do it, but they don't do it. Writing stuff down really helps. You can really brainstorm. What are your reasons? Why? What are you trying to overcome? And then on the opposite side of that, what if you don't do it? Where do you see yourself in a year? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 20 years?
Well, I know if I don't do it, I know what's waiting for me.
Right? Well, imagine you didn't do it. Where would you be right now if you didn't do it?
I would be probably on insulin, daily injections of insulin by now.
I don't even like to think
That
about
would
it.
suck so bad.
Could you imagine? You wouldn't have been at the water park yesterday.
Nope. And I wouldn't have had the courage to go up and come sliding down the world's tallest water ride.
Right?
But yeah, I know what's waiting for me, and that's part of my why, because I know the consequences of coming off and going back to Doritos and barbecue chips and
life is
McDonald's.
so short. It's so short.
It's not worth the trade-off.
Yeah. Yeah, I did this little kind of rant video yesterday, because sometimes you'll hear people and they'll say, I can't give up this food. It's too good. And I was saying in this video yesterday, those people, they're kind of signing a contract. They're not officially signing it, but they should have to sign a contract that says that, okay, I want pizza and Doritos and crap food. And in return, I check a little checkbox next to cancer, probable, early death, probable, mobility issues, probably going to happen. And you have to check every one of those things, because that's essentially the decision you're making if you continue to eat that way. It sounds kind of harsh, but it's like, we have to speak the truth, right? Like, how is that not true? Look around in the world right now. Everybody's sick. We're dying at younger and younger ages. People are dying of cancer in their 40s and 50s now. Kids are pre-diabetic. It's crazy what's going on out there.
Yeah. I think to myself, well, what else are you going to do? you know,
Yeah.
you're going to go back to it and then end up back on medication and high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes and losing a foot, no, that's not going to be me.
Right. And we touched on this a little bit, but it's so short. No matter if you go back to that food, Brett, or you continue doing whatever you're doing right now, you're going to close your eyes right now, open them up. It's going to be like a blink of an eye, and you're going to be breathing your last breaths. I know it's harsh. It's a hard conversation, but with all of us, before we know it, we're going to be, God willing, we're going to be old people, or if we're not old, either way, we're going to be at the end of our lives taking our last few breaths. And it's going to be like, are you going to be happy at that point that you ate a bunch of Doritos and ice cream and were miserable your whole life instead of really living?
I know that I'm extending my lifespan.
I have no doubt.
Yeah, I'm extending my lifespan.
Yeah. And it's not just, imagine if you were extending your lifespan on the standard American diet. A lot of people don't even want to because they're suffering. You're thriving. You're going to live to an old age and thrive to it, where most people are making it to 72 and dying, but they're not thriving there. They're barely just struggling to get there with brain fog and fatigue and mobility issues and depression and IBS and all of these issues. However long you live to, you're gonna thrive to it.
Yeah, and I'm 54 years old. So if I don't do this, I might make it to 70. So that's only 16 years away. I mean, that's
like that.
It's like that. My daughter's 17. It's the age from my daughter to birth to now. You know, it's too short.
Right.
And I may not make it to the 120 average age that Chafee says humans are supposed to live to, but I'm going to get all that I can.
You'll be in your hundreds, no problem. I really believe that too. People say I'm crazy with that. We're dying in our 70s, and the people that make it to their 70s are like, yeah, I made it to 70. That should be the crime of the century and absolutely pathetic.
Yeah.
I'm not saying necessarily 120, but I really think most humans would be living into their 100s if they were eating like we would. All of the science points to it. Dr. Chafee's talked about it many times. Maggie, when we interviewed her, talked about it quite a bit as well.
I'm going to have to make younger friends.
Yeah. You know, you say that. That was one of the saddest moments with Maggie.
Yeah.
Maggie said to us, she went to a girls' school and she had all these lifelong friends. She's like, they're all gone. I'm all alone, all by myself. And she's so healthy. She's have to make another set of friends and then maybe another one after that. The last thing, man, we could talk about, this is a great question. We could talk about this one, the whole thing, but this is a good conversation. The last thing I'll say on this too, and this isn't to like shame you into doing it, but there's people in the world right now that are suffering from some sort of chronic disease. Maybe they only have a couple of years left to live. They'd give anything to have an able working body. And I think about that for myself. I'm not judging you. I think about that for myself, that what a shame it would be if I went and ate ice cream and Doritos and squandered this when I have an able working body and there's other people out there in the world that don't. And then the last thing I'll say on it too, our last interview in Austin was Pastor Jimmy and Annette. Talked about this a little bit, but your body's a temple. In the Bible, it talks about this. The first commandment is have no other gods before me.
Right.
You shouldn't idolize other things. Who in the world isn't idolizing food? Again, I'm just judging myself. Prior to carnivore, that's all I thought about. Food for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, where are we going? Birthdays, graduation, it was all food.
Just planning your life around it, like an alcoholic plans the next time they're going to drink.
Yep. And imagine if that amount of effort and reverence went into God, like the Bible says in the first commandment. But everyone is guilty of it, myself included. So there's so many reasons. Sorry to Kim to go on so long, but hopefully one of those will click with you. Dangerous JD. I would like to get on Anthony Chafee level as far as ditching the tea, but I also listen to Rob and talking about tea as a bridge once I get to a stronger feeling and where my goals are. There you go. Baby steps, right? You're probably doing 1,000,000 times better than you would before if you're just using it as a bridge. More power to you.
If tea is the worst thing you're drinking, you're doing good.
You're doing 1,000 times better than almost every human on this planet. Brett, do you use any? Oh, I think we got that one already. Redmond seasonings. What is Malden? Malden is a sea salt. Is there a better way to describe it? Maybe I'll pull up a picture here.
Malden salt.
Here, I'll show you a quick little picture here. I can tell you what it is. It's delicious. It's fantastic. Here it is on Amazon. Malden sea salt flakes comes in a tub. If you watch Dr. Baker, I think he pretty much uses that all the time. You always see him sprinkling it on his steak. If you watch my channel, I pretty much use it all the time too.
And that bucket of salt will last you a long time.
True and false.
No.
Unless your children knock it over on the counter and then send you a picture of it on your phone and say, Dad, you got to buy more salt. It's all over the ground. And Carnivore Stan, another friend of the channel, and been helping out a lot with things behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Andy, I've been eyeing the Ninja Foodie. That is an indoor grill and air fryer. It might fit the bill. I have a barbecue, but this might be the ticket for rainy, wet, or cold days. Carnivore Stan, have you any experience with indoor smoker, grill, air fryer?
Air fryer. Yeah, I do have an air fryer.
There was one. Bill Knott was Carnivore Stan. You got to let me know how that goes. Bill was telling me one. I think I saw one in Menards or something too. That was like a combo. It did most of them, and it could be used indoors, which sounds kind of crazy to me. Let us know how that works out for you, Carnivore Stan. Darth Carnivore is asking Brett, if steak is 100% grass-fed finished versus grain finished, do you account for this cooking it differently?
I do not. Yeah, no difference. It's all about temperature management.
Right.
Maybe grass finished beef might have a different feel to it. May not be quite as spongy as a fattier grain fed, but it's all about the temperature. So thanks for that. Thanks for that question, Charlie.
Good questions. Hey, Bill Knott is in the building.
Hey.
Shout out, Bill. Let me see if I'm armed. I got it.
Nice.
Spider. I had that in my list of carnivore gadgets because I use this thing every day. This isn't the one my good buddy Bill gave me. It's precisely exactly like it. The one that Bill gave me, I have sitting at home because I've almost damaged it a couple times, and it means a lot to me, so I'm keeping it. But Bill is always about being prepared, right? So he's like, good to have one. It's better to have two. Be prepared. And this one, they I don't know if you guys can see that on there. They engraved it with any words you want, so I put Providence on there. I love this knife, though. I'm not just shouting out Bill. I'm not affiliated with Spyderco whatsoever. I use this thing so much. I never really cared about it on pocket knife until I became carnivore, but cutting the steaks out, whatever. If I'm by a campfire, I've used this to cut up steaks. I'm not ashamed to say it. It's a real sharp knife, too. But this thing right here, I make it look effortless. That's not an easy move right there. That's a Bill Knott move. That took me months to learn that. It's a weird sort of action, but that's the Spyderco.
It's a very good quality knife, worth every penny.
Yeah. Hey, we got our good friend Lynn Tucker. Hey, I don't know if Brett's seen this yet. I didn't turn my light on back here either. Let me turn my light on back here. I was telling him about this at dinner. My good buddies, Ribeye Ranger, the greatest name on the carnivore game. Ribeye Ranger.
Great name.
And Lynn Tucker Carnivore. We got the picture inception, a picture within a picture within a picture. But I love this picture for so many reasons because Lynn and Jim are awesome. But look at Jim's look on his face there. I said, I was joking around the other day. I was like, that wasn't because there was a pretty lady walking by. He's got the pretty lady next to him right here. That was when they brought the steak out at the Brazilian steakhouse. He's like, woo, doggy, bring that over here.
That's a legit carnivore reaction.
Right? Oh, I love that picture. That is permanently in the background forever now, right here. Yeah, if you guys aren't checking out Lynn Tucker Carnivore and Ribeye Ranger on YouTube, you're missing out. Awesome YouTube channel. Bill Knott, another awesome YouTube channel. Speaking of, you've been watching Bill Knott videos?
I am. I'm one behind. I haven't watched his last one yet.
Adventure on the. I'll give you a little teaser. Adventure on the four-wheeler.
Yeah,
it's awesome. It's so fun watching.
We've been traveling, coming to the Dells, and I'm behind on watching all my favorite channels.
Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and have a ribeye steak once in a while, you could miss it. That's very true. Goes very fast. It can end at any moment. Michelle said, my cravings went away with full carnivore. I think that's the case. Oh, man, the ribs hurt now. I think that's the case with a lot of people. Most people doing the standard American diet don't realize that.
Yeah.
Most people coming into it have that mindset, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. How am I going to afford carnivore? The cravings go away and you eat way less on carnivore. You eat a big fatty steak and you're full. 2 meals, you're done. Sometimes 1 meal.
Yeah.
Trab Dog might look into the tasty air fryer. Hey, I tested one of those out on my channel, and I actually I liked it for the price and the ease of use. You stick a little thermometer in it. You push a button. You can use an app. I have this pet peeve with the app thing. They don't force you to use an app. It's optional, or you can just use the thing. But the complaint I had with the Tasty was it didn't have the PFOA, the Forever Chemical free basket. And I told them that. And they were down there in Austin, and they said they took that advice from me and I guess other carnivores, because they said I'm not going to promote it. Most carnivores aren't going to want it. And they have a ceramic version that's coming out. They're still working on it, but they're going to have a ceramic version that's Forever Chemical free, a lot cleaner. Speaking of Ribeye Ranger, I just smoked up a couple pounds of lamb for Lynn and me. Delicious, almost like a rich, sweet meat. Applewood chips for the win. Oh. Nice. What about lamb? How do you do lamb?
Oh, I do lamb quite a bit. I try to have lamb at least a couple times a month.
Do you ever buy it from Costco?
Yeah, but they quit carrying the lamb chops.
Oh.
I used to get this big pack of lamb chops, but now I got a Sam's Club membership, and Sam's Club sells lamb chops. But you can get like a boneless leg of lamb, and I'll chop that up and make lamb steaks. And that works too.
Okay, I need more info on this. I've had lamb once or twice. It's a ruminant animal like beef. I know it's great for you. Michaela Peterson, that's one of the things she primarily ate.
Yep.
I had it at a restaurant. I really liked it, but here's my thing. I get in these routines, and I've never cooked lamb, and like I've seen it at Costco, and I'm like, I'm going to screw this up. Just forget it. Give me the beef instead. And I take the easy way out. So is it complicated? Am I overthinking this thing?
You're overthinking it.
Okay.
With the lamb chops, I grill those on the charcoal the same way as I make a steak.
Is it cooking temperature similar to beef?
Yeah.
It's just
you can have it medium rare. I mean, I tend to cook my lamb a little more done than beef because I like the flavor of it. Yeah, lamb's great, and it's a great change up from beef, and it's a ruminant animal. So good.
We got a troll in the comments. Awesome. That means we're having some success here. Wow, 277 people. You guys are awesome.
That's great.
Thank you, guys. If you have a question, post it with a QQQ. Brett and I are going to try to get all of these questions here. We're getting caught up a little bit. How can you keep electrolytes up without buying something like Element? Penny Woods asked. You doing electrolytes still?
I don't
either. I did like the first couple of weeks, and if I ever you can hear your body so well on carnivore. So my thing is, like, if I'm going to go work out in the sun, or if I start to get a headache or something, I got some electrolytes around. I'll take them.
Yeah, I don't find it necessary for me. But if you're just starting off, then I probably would. And there's YouTube channels. If you don't want to buy Element, it's expensive. Old Guy Carnivore has a video on how he makes his own, and I'm striking out on
Nia.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Nia has a recipe for it too on her channel.
She just gets the raw ingredients and makes it up herself.
Yep.
I heard her say on a video once too. She's trying to reduce sodium, so she just did her own recipe, took some of the sodium out, and made it herself. So yeah, you can save a bunch of money just making it yourself.
Dr. Barry has an old video where he makes what he called snake juice.
Okay.
If I remember right.
Yeah, I've used Element and the Keto Chow ones. I like the Keto Chow ones when I was using them just for convenience, just drop and you're done versus the mixing the powder in. But it's just potassium, magnesium, sodium. It's just like 3 things in there, so you can make it yourself.
Well, and if I'm fasting, I do electrolytes when I'm fasting.
Yep, me too. Speaking of fasting, shout out, Emma's starting a 3-day fast right now.
Oh, good for her.
And she asked me, we're going to do a video on it, I guess. She asked me to help record it, but
when has she started it yet?
She did. She was going to come to dinner. Brett and I went to dinner just before this. She was going to come to dinner. I was like, come with us. She's like, I'm fasting. I'm like, oh, that's right. Sorry.
Well, that's a good fasting test if you can go to dinner and just sit there and sip your water.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So she opted out. But tomorrow morning, we're going to walk from my house to the movie theater. It's like 5.5 miles.
Yeah.
Why? She wants to do it. She challenged me. I'm not going to say no. It's going to be fun. Spend some quality time together. So she's doing it fast.
Yeah, just take a nice brisk pace, 5 miles. That's not that difficult.
We're doing it at 5 a.m. too.
Ooh.
So for those of you that don't know, Jen and I started this thing just real quick. It's completely free if anyone wants to join us. It's last year when I did carnivore, every morning I would get natural sunlight in my eyes and my feet would touch the ground. I'd do grounding and I felt incredible. I stopped doing that over winter because I'm a big baby and it's cold in Wisconsin and I had excuses. I wanted to do it again. Jen wanted to join me. So we're like, why don't we just do a 30-day challenge on Facebook so other people can join us? If you guys want to do that, I'm on Facebook. It's Homestead How on Facebook. You can click the little group. I'm not selling you anything. It's completely free if you want to join. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Are you in there too?
I am.
I thought I saw you posted. I know you were traveling. I saw you post a picture the other day.
And I've done it the last couple of days.
Nice.
I posted a little video up on there of me doing it at the resort.
That's been so much fun. A lot of people, I didn't know what to expect, but a lot of people are posting pictures. There's one, my buddy Lash, who had psoriasis. I had him on the channel like 2 weeks ago. He was doing yoga and stretches, and it was like inspiring. I'm like, I should add that to it. I should incorporate this. So people are posting their pictures, and they're just helping each other out. So anyone wants to join, it's completely free. You just go to Homestead How on Facebook and click on that little group. It's called, what are we calling it? Return to Natural, RTN, Return to Natural. So every morning, long story short, Jen and I have been doing that. We haven't missed a day yet. And this morning it was raining out. I was running through puddles in the rain. Tomorrow, whatever it's raining or whatever's happening, Emma and I are going to, it's 5 a.m. I told her, Emma said, will you go 5.5 miles with me? I said, yes, if we leave at 5 a.m. I'm going to be up. I'm going to get out there. So we're going to do it at 5 a.m. So she agreed to that. Lisa Rich said, Carrie, did you say you were going to start a nonprofit to make the documentary? Yes, 100%. In fact, up until this point, it has essentially, for all purposes, been a nonprofit. Like Brett was saying earlier, every penny we get, I'm not taking a paycheck. I don't pay myself. All of the funds for the documentary have gone towards equipment and then traveling and filming the doctors. And so, yes, I was just talking to the accountant, and we're in the process of officially forming it as a nonprofit. So more to come soon on that. It's in process, but the process for doing a nonprofit can take like a year or two in some cases, but the ball is rolling. So
well, that's great.
Karen Harrington says I have a smaller size Traeger. I'm actually more of a griller, so it was tough to learn the Traeger. Andy, Nina Teicholz should also be included, 100%, should also be included in a book club. She taught me that eating meat without restrictions can lead to weight loss because that is what accidentally happened to her. I love Nina, and I was just talking to her. My other friend, I'm going to shout out all these books. Again, I'm not affiliated with any of these, but this is Daniel Trevor's book called The Unholy Trinity. He was on Dr. Barry's channel. I had him on my channel. He introduced me to Nina. So I've been talking to her potentially about having her interviewed for the documentary. I'm so excited about the documentary, but it's never going to get done. There's so many interesting people to include on it. Nina's awesome too. She's been in several documentaries and written books. And Robert Slavin, $5 super chat. Thank you so much for that. Lost 65 pounds in 4 months. Weight loss has slowed down a little. Any tips? Please help. I'm 41 years old. Lower gut still help. You got any suggestions on this one, Brett?
Lost 65 pounds in 4 months. Well, congratulations. That's really, really great. Your weight loss is going to slow down. Mine has. I don't know how much more you have to lose, but say that 65 was half of it. The second half is going to go slower. So I would say the tips, just stay with it. Don't allow yourself to stray. And watch videos. Learn everything that you can. You may pick up something you haven't tried before, or maybe check out like Steak and Butter Gang or someplace like that where they have coaches and help to help you with that last part of it.
Yeah.
41 years old. I'm glad you're doing it. I wish I would have done it when I was 41.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like Brett said, the first 25 pounds, those are pretty easy.
Yeah.
When you have a bunch of weight to lose, the last 25 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever, the last weight to lose is always the hardest and it sticks on you. The only other advice I would add is maybe try switching things up a little bit. It helped me on a couple stalls and it seems to help other people. So I'm not saying anything drastic, but if you're doing carnivore diet, maybe for 3 days, you're going to try lion diet. Or if you're doing lion diet, maybe for 1 day, you're going to try fasting or just our bodies get into these weird routines, and it's amazing how your body can just hold on to weight. Oh, the only other thing too is if you're eating cheese, maybe try cutting out the cheese and see if that does it, because that stalls a ton of people up.
Yeah, I don't know how strict he is. So,
but in any case, congratulations on what is that, 6.5 10-pound bowling balls in 4 months. That's incredible. Paula, 5-pound super chat. Do you recommend taking any vitamin supplements in addition to electrolytes on the carnivore diet?
I don't take any vitamin supplements. The only thing I'm doing right now, because I'm trying something new, and when we were at Hack Your Health, Dr. Kiltz was giving out his liver and organ capsules. And I've been adding a few of those in just to see if it would make any difference, because beef liver is one of the most nutritious foods that you can possibly eat, but I hate liver. So I've been taking those. Haven't really noticed much of a difference. But like Dr. Chafee said many times, if you're eating the right foods, you're eating beef, you shouldn't really need to take any supplements for anything else, unless you have, a special condition where you need something more.
Right. Yes. Same for me. Unless you have like he said, special condition, like my buddy Jeff was going through cancer. He supplements quite a few different things for that reason. I know some folks like live in areas that don't get a lot of sunshine, might supplement some vitamin D. The best thing is go get a test, get some tests done and see if you're deficient in anything.
Yeah.
The cool thing nowadays is good and bad with the technology and stuff, but you can go on, there's, what is it? Alta Labs, I think is one of them. There's quite a few of them. You can go on and just for a couple of bucks even, you can purchase your labs. You don't even have to go through your doctor and if you got a big deductible or things like that, but just maybe test it and see where you're at. I do know that there's quite a few people walking around in the world that are deficient in magnesium. Dr. Barry did some good videos on that, but I wouldn't recommend just going out and taking something just in case you're deficient in it. Like, how do you feel? And maybe get your blood tested and then don't leave it to guesswork.
And if you want to know what labs to order, Dr. Barry has his Common Sense Labs book. It's not very expensive. Get it.
Yeah. Karen Harrington. Lash and his yoga was crazy. I couldn't do it on concrete. Yeah, Lash is awesome. For those of you that don't know, Lash was the guy on my channel last week, I think. This guy had psoriasis, psoriatic arthritis, and horrible depression. For 30 years, he'd wake up in the morning, he'd take the sheet off, and there would be blood on the sheet from his psoriasis. It was that painful. He had pictures of it. It was incredible. He went carnivore, Brett. What do you think happened now?
Something tells me he doesn't have psoriasis anymore.
He doesn't have psoriasis anymore. His skin is like almost perfect and flawless, and he's absolutely thriving, and he's passionate, and he's fired up, and he wants to start a center that people can come to heal. And I'm like, that is just an awesome idea right there.
And we keep hearing more all the time about how carnivore is helping with all these different things. But I keep hearing a lot of psoriasis stories.
Yeah.
A lot. It's becoming more and more. I mean, we've always heard the type 2 diabetes, helping with that and anxiety. And now a lot of psoriasis issues are starting to filter through.
Yeah, so many. And one of the big players in the skin issue, that sort of stuff, is Michaela Peterson. And that is who Lash learned about carnivore from. And he credits her with saving his life, which is just crazy. It was really interesting. When Lash reached out to me, I interviewed him at the same time when I was in Austin. Tammy Peterson, I mentioned this before on the other one, but Jordan Peterson's wife, Michaela Peterson's mom, Tammy Peterson, messaged me and she said she watched some of my YouTube videos and she invited me on her podcast. So next month, I'm going to be on Tammy Peterson's podcast. I'm so excited. Obviously, it's a big opportunity, but I love Tammy Peterson. If you guys haven't watched her podcast, it's so good. But I have had so many comments on my channel about the Peterson family introducing them to Lion Diet. And so this guy Lash told me that. He's like, Michaela saved my life. Like, I was dead. I was done. 30 years this summer, I was done. And then I had the message from Tammy. And then long story short, Michaela saw the video that I did with Lash and she reached out to Lash and invited him on her channel. So we're like, it's incredible. I'm so happy for him too, because he gets to meet the woman who essentially did a video that he credits with saving his life, and after so much suffering too.
That's so awesome. She reached out to you.
Yeah.
Hopefully that will lead to another connection, and maybe we'll get Michaela on here. That would
Yeah.
be-
Well, I'm not gonna. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'd love to have your whole family in the documentary.
Yeah, right, exactly.
That's the truth. I'm gonna say it too. Hey, it's Limitless Lindy, another awesome Austin
Hey.
person we had out there. Oh man, I can't. So there's so much going on. I don't know if you heard this part, Brett, too. Lots of stuff came about in Austin, but I was invited to Australia in November to Adelaide. There's a carnivore conference called the Carnivore Collective. It's hosted by Melissa B. Dr. Chafee's going to be there. Dave Mack's going to be there. Professor Bart Kay's going to be there.
Yeah,
And
I overheard part of that.
Bella's going to be there now. I
Yeah.
told the organizer, Melissa, I was like, you got to have Bella there. She's incredible. So I'm going to be out there, and we wanted to go out there to film Limitless Lindy, Dr. Anthony Chafee, potentially do a big meetup.
Right.
So the only issue is I'm not very good with geography, and apparently Australia is a kind of a large country. Like Adelaide is like New York, and Perth is like California.
Right.
So in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go see Chafee and
Like
Lindy.
going New York to Los Angeles.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much exactly what it is between Dr. Chafee and.
How nice was it to meet Lindy in person?
Awesome! What an amazing inspiration.
How great was it to meet her and her daughter? Her daughter was amazing too. But getting to meet Lindy, that was really great.
It was. I wish I would have had more time to sit. I got to chat with her a little bit, but I was so busy filming. But it was really cool for me too. Here's a little trivia. A lot of people don't know this, but the first live stream Limitless Lindy ever went on was mine. I think it was the 10-hour one. And that was the first video live stream that she'd ever done. And I remember it vividly because I kept telling her, I was teasing her a little bit. I'm like, you shouldn't be called Limitless Lindy. You should be called Legendary.
Legendary Lindy.
Absolute
I remember that.
Legend. Absolute legend. I can't wait to film her too. We had a little chance to talk. She's got this little flower shop. I think she said her daughter runs, and she's cutting the flowers there and reminiscing about old memories when she used to do it. And there's so many things to film there. I can't wait to do that. Wow, Tammy is awesome. Tammy is great. If you guys, after you go and watch some of Brett's YouTube channel, Who's Your Carnivore, if you get some time, Google Tammy Peterson Carnivore Diet. There's a video on her channel. It's so good. I think I've watched it 3 times now. It's just fantastic. Mike and Nari, I went from 195 to 155 in 4 months, and now I'm starting to scare myself because I'm way too thin. Doctor said I'm fine, no cancer, etc. How do I put on healthy weight?
I would probably eat more. Carnivore diet. Keep doing what you're doing, and maybe up it if you're only eating once or twice a day. Try doing 3 times a day, and try that for a couple weeks. And if you can put on healthy weight, do it. That would be my thing. If you're trying to put on some healthy weight and keep lifting heavy things, building muscle, building bone density. You may check out Dr. Chafee. He's got a lot of great tips on putting on muscle and putting on healthy weight.
And he practices what he preaches, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of Limitless, Lindy said Dr. Chafee will also be there. Yeah, did I forget to mention that? Dr. Chafee is going to be speaking there also. So they invited me to speak there about Healing Humanity, the documentary. So that's going to be exciting. Never been to Australia before. The only thing, and I got to talk to Lindy about this some more. Oh, here we go. 4-hour plane to Dr. Chafee. That's not bad. But the flight from here to there is the one that has me a little worried. Is that like 30 hours or something? 24 hours? It's something insane like that. I think it's 20 plus hours.
You lose a day going over, but you gain a day coming.
Right? I'm a carnivore, so I should be fine, right?
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Pack some steak with
If anybody's going to be fine, you'll be fine.
Right? I'm gonna be a little grumpy when I get there and won't know what day it is.
Plain bacon.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Make up a whole batch of that.
Or make up some of that jerky that Ashley made.
Oh, that was, I got to apologize for that too, because I crushed that. Like, I felt bad. I ate most of that. Like, Adam, you want a piece? Oh, there's one left. You sure? You sure? I guess I'll take it.
He sliced that at a top round. It's like $2.99 a pound.
Oh, it was so
good.
And
dried that out and made it. I think he said he made it in his Traeger too.
Wow. Hey, here's another good friend of the channel, Carnivore Ron. Speaking of way back, Ron was one of the first individuals on my channel. At 71 years old, wrinkles are not my concern. Ron is awesome. Another cool YouTube channel. Ron's working out, exercising, running laps around his peers at 71 years old. Andy said, great to see Brett on here. Hope to see you at the next indie meetup.
Yeah, Andy, he's a neighbor of mine. He lives within a couple miles of me. Really, really great guy. We exchanged information, and glad to see you're going to come to the meetup. I'll just do a quick promo on the meetup. August 4th, Sunday, August 4th, Morse Reservoir in Noblesville, Indiana. It's going to start around noon. I rented a pavilion that holds 100 people.
Nice.
It's got 6 giant picnic tables. It's got a grill at each end of it, and it's right on the water by the lake. I did a little video on my channel where I do a walk around and show you everything in the park. It's a BYOM. You bring your own meat.
Nice.
And we're going to bring in a couple other grills in case those other little park rickety grills aren't the best thing. But I'm going to bring charcoal. I'm supplying water. There it is right there. Meet up. I'm going to supply all the utensils. So all you need to do is bring your meat and bring maybe a side. All you got to do, you're going to do a side dish of some kind. And we're going to have it all day. It starts at noon. And I think we just have to be out when it gets dark at around 9 o'clock. So it's free. There's no charge to come. And it's going to be a great time. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. Not only is there the pavilion and the lake right there, but there's walking trails. There's a gigantic playground for kids that's just right next to that shelter house. There's a volleyball pit. There's disc golf. There's a kayak launch if you want to bring a kayak. There's
Nice.
a kayak launch. You can fish right there off the seawall behind where it is. It's going to be a really good time. And I've already got, I think, 12 or 14 people signed up already. And it's still, 6 weeks away?
Nice.
So Sunday, August 4th. And all the info is right there on the screen. Morse Park and Beach, Noblesville. And just shoot me a quick email. Let me know you're coming.
Who's your carnivore at gmail.com.
Yep.
That's awesome. And if you guys haven't been to a meetup yet, go to one because
Fun.
It's life changing. Like every time I go to one, I'm like, I want more. I want more. I'd go to one every weekend if there was one available to go to.
Especially if you're just starting out and you're having trouble. Talk about motivation.
Yeah.
And you just being around all those same people that are doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you don't feel so alone. Because I think a lot of times people doing carnivore, they're kind of isolated.
Yep.
And, you don't have to be alone in this. We're all here on YouTube. We're your online buddies. Find a meetup near you and go.
There's something with the energy too. When you meet a carnivore, they've got that really positive, good energy. But then you go to a meetup and it's a whole group of people with that energy. You can feel that energy. It's something. But yeah, we're living in a world where most people are eating sugar and we're the odd ones out. So it's really nice to join a group of like-minded individuals.
Yes.
And eat meat, grill out, go swimming for sure. So check that out. Meetup. It's August 4th, 12 Eastern, Morse Park and Beach. Email who'syourcarnivore@gmail.com. All right, let's see. We got a couple more questions here. Have either of you eaten fresh Spanish sardines? I have not.
Fresh Spanish sardines. No, I would. Absolutely.
I'd give it a try. I haven't though yet.
Omega-3s. I mean, that's where it's at.
Crispy Merchandise. Love that name. This may sound silly, but because I have meat texture issues like Jen, I've fallen in love of slower cooker stew meat, and I'm wondering if throwing steaks in the slow cooker could be good. I haven't tried that yet. I've done a lot of slow cooker meat, but not with steaks in particular. I'm usually getting beef stew meat or like a big roast or something like that. Have you ever tried slow cooking a steak? I don't even know what would happen there.
I have a sous vide.
Okay.
And I've sous vide some steaks. My favorite thing to sous vide is like a chuck roast.
Mm.
Sous vide that, get it, good and tender, and then throw it on the charcoal grill and sear it. It's not, I mean, people will say it's like a poor man's ribeye. It's not quite ribeye, but it's very, very good, especially if you catch it on sale, and it makes a lot of food.
Right. My only other suggestion is the beef shanks. There's a recipe on my site for that. That's pretty much slow cooking them too, or there's another word for it I can't think of now. But we cook that low and slow in a Dutch oven, and Jen really liked that too. It's a weird cut of meat I never thought she would have eaten, but because of the texture, she absolutely loved it. So, Susan Hampton, Carrie, I'm praying for you and Emma on the 5.5 mile walk. Oh, thank you. Is your rib doing better? It's doing a lot better. Like the first day, it hurt so bad, and I was really worried because they said it could take 4 to 6 weeks to heal, and if it was going to hurt that bad. But the doctor told me they're like it normally hurts really bad the first 24 hours, and then your body kind of adjusts to it. Every now and then, it hurts really, really bad. Or if I take a deep breath, it really hurts.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been getting a lot better at adapting, and I know how to move to not hurt it. And like walking really doesn't bother it that much. It's usually if I'm bending over or laying down that it hurts. So
I've had a few fractured ribs in Taekwondo.
Yeah.
Did
it hurt for a long time, or was it?
Yeah, it was like a real sharp jab.
Yep. It feels like you're
when
getting
you
stabbed
breathe
or
or if you laugh real hard or something.
Oh my goodness! I sneezed yesterday. I thought I was gonna die.
That's the worst. Sneezing.
Here is a movie theater carnival. Oh yeah, the books. Yeah, the collection has been growing. There's a lot of good books out there now, which is awesome. Have you ever made pemmican? I have not. No,
I never have either. I've seen Nia make pemmican and a couple other people. I'd like to try it.
I've tried the carnivore bars, but I wasn't a big fan because I don't snack a lot. Like I eat a steak and then I'm full, and I don't really. If I was traveling or something, I think it'd be cool. Sherry Morgan, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Trying carnivore for anorexia. What is the best way to gain healthy weight? Thank you. I think like Brett was saying earlier, more frequent meals, up in the fat and lifting heavy things. That's what Dr. Barry always says. Who did I interview? There was a woman on my channel, Dr. Lee, I think her name was. Dr. Lee. She had anorexia, bulimia, and she used carnivore diet. She had some good tips. I would research that, like other carnivores with anorexia, because there's a couple of videos out there that might give you some inspiration and ideas too.
One that pops into mind is Sophia Eats Steak.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how old you are, Sherry, but she's a teenager dealing with anorexia, and she's thriving. She's thriving. She has a great little YouTube channel too. It's great.
Yeah,
she's fun to watch.
She's awesome. Emma's got to do a video with her. They've become good friends, and then they disconnected a little bit during school, but
they should.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm in Adelaide. It's classed as a smaller city or a larger country town, easy to get around. Will be beautiful weather in November. You'll love it there. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. One more from Dana Jacobs says, Sherry, I was anorexic bulimic for over 20 years. I went on this diet after a health scare last year. I no longer battle with it anymore. That was the same story for Dr. Lee that I had on my channel too. She suffered for so many years, anorexia, bulimia, and this woman, Brett, she said to me, I have a party. I'm like, what's the party for? Your birthday or what? She's like, no, I'm just celebrating that I'm alive and I'm living. I'm so happy. I'm like, that's awesome. That's what we should have parties for, not some arbitrary date. I'll say that's a cool party. She had to reschedule the thing. I'm like, don't apologize. That's the coolest thing I've ever heard.
That's what carnivore camp's going to be.
Yes, absolutely.
But with anorexia, I mean, you get on the proper human diet, you're going to build muscle, you're going to build bone density, and your health is going to improve.
Yeah.
I don't know, that much about putting weight on, but there's a lot of resources out there. And that's the great thing about what we're doing here. So many YouTube channels, so much free information just out there. And all you'd have to do is just search for it and watch.
Yep.
So much to learn.
I second and triple that, because I get so many people like, what do I do when I do this? Like, it's all out there, Dr. Like literally any question you have, Dr. Barry probably has a video for it. If not, Dr. Chafee or Dr. Hampton or Dr. Kiltz or Dr. Baker. So, and it's free information. I always make fun of the girls. I'm like, when I was your age, I'd have to go to the library, look it up in an encyclopedia, and they wouldn't have carnivore in there. Like, imagine that back then. There's no way we would have found out about carnivore if not for YouTube. like you're not, unless you ran and Dr. Baker happened to be your neighbor. There's no way you're going to ever learn about this kind of thing. So yeah, oftentimes we're scared of things because it's lack of knowledge, but we have all that knowledge at our fingertips. You just got to search for it. It's all there for free. So awesome. Well, I think we'll end it there. I really appreciate you coming on, Brett, and running the movie theater with me, and all the great food you fed in Austin, and all your support, man. You've been here for everything. I really appreciate it. You're a good friend. We gotta get this Camp Carnivore thing going.
I know.
I'm in. I'm totally in. Like, I'll start advertising it. I'll book it. Whatever we got to do. Maybe we should look around the date for the next Hack Your Health, because I know I definitely want to go to that again.
That's going to be in September next year, and it's going to be in Tampa, Florida. I will definitely try to do some type of Camp Carnivore.
Yeah.
Then
we'll have to chat with Todd a little bit, and Adam and some of the other folks, because I think it's unanimous. Like, everyone's like, yeah, let's do
everybody
it
wants to do it again.
Get it on Dr. Baker's radar. See if he'll be the camp counselor again.
And we're gonna try to, even if I have to drive to Miami to get him and drag him back, I'm gonna go get Rick.
Right? Oh, Rick could be the camp counselor. Nice.
I haven't seen him on here, but yeah, we're definitely going to try to get Rick Charger Mopar in here.
That would be awesome.
Over there to Tampa.
How far is he from Tampa?
Like 4 hours.
It's in the same state, close enough. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Oh, that'd be so cool. Awesome. Well, thank you guys all so much for the super chats, for your support, for checking us out and talking with us tonight. Make sure you check out Brett's channel at Who's Your Carnivore. I have a link in the description below. And go to that meetup too. That's going to be awesome. So thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. Beep, beep, beep.